Hello everybody, welcome to Scribbles with Jonathan. I'm your host, Jonathan Rector. You guys can check out my website at jonathanrector.com. If you guys are on Twitter, you can follow me there as well, at ArtByJar. And I just wanted to do a quick little plug as well. If you guys are digging these shows, I know it's been a while as well. I hope everybody had a great holiday. It's how long it's been. But yeah, if you're interested in these shows, every Monday and Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, there'll be a link in the show notes there at the bottom here at the YouTube video, where you guys can come check me out. I draw live for an hour from 10:30 till 11:30 while I'm doing my stuff that I do for work. Working on comics is usually what I do. There is some in illustration as well, and I'm always open to answer everybody's questions if you guys have any drawing help that you need. I'm by no means the greatest artist or illustrator that ever lived, but I do like to help people out because lots of people have helped me out, and I'd like to share that as well. So today what I thought I would do is there's a book that two friends of mine recommended, and I kind of got it for a little Christmas present for myself, a little Christmas present. And this is the actual book, so I apologize if the camera gets a little crazy. I just have to move it around to show you guys. But the book is called Brian Hitch's Ultimate Comic Studio, and Brian Hitch is a fantastic artist. Most of his stuff that I know him from is Marvel Comics, but this book, I'm not going to do a review. I have been thinking about doing a small review show, just for kicks as well, reviewing some comics that I read and stuff like that. But I just wanted to show you guys. Let me put the camera down there. There's one thing that I learned from this, and I've been applying it for the last few comic pages that I've been working on. And I just wanted to show you a very quick video of this, of me using it in action, and perhaps it might help you guys out too. So let me just get this all set up here. And what Brian's actually doing here is this right here. And this might look like, what the heck's going on? This just looks like a gesture, and yada yada yada. But what he's doing here is what I'll show you a little bit in a little bit. But the idea behind this is, instead of drawing a small thumbnail, blowing it up in Photoshop, increasing its size, or on a photocopier, printing it out, and then lightboxing it, and then redrawing it on the page, what he's doing is he's drawing the image to scale, very loosely and very gesturally, and then just lightboxing that. And I've been using it, and I got to be honest, it's actually not increasing my speed or anything like that, maybe a little bit. But what I do notice is that I'm having a little bit more fun at the drawing table. And I think that's half of the battle, too, is always trying to figure out, how can you keep that energy high? How can you keep it going? And this works for illustration. I have done this for cover work, concept work as well. So I'm just going to show you. The tools of the trade are basically this right here. It's really up close. Okay, so a regular pencil. Try to get the... Oh, geez. There we go. Sorry again for that. All right. Now you stay. Okay. Let me try this one at a time here. So what you're going to need is just regular pencil. I like to use a 4H lead. You can use a 2H. The idea is you want it to be nice and light. Oh man, this camera. You want the pencil to be nice and light so it doesn't smear and it's not too heavy, okay? We're going to use this for gestures and to get the structure and the real estate that we have to play around with, okay? So that's step one, is using the pencil. The next step is you can use coal erase pencils. And what these are is if you were to photocopy them, from my understanding, is they don't get picked up. I use this red one for animation. And this is probably about 5 or 6 years old now. And this blue is literally just a Crayola crayon, pencil crayon one. But I suggest getting a coal erase one as well. And what I like to do is I'll use the red one as my step 2 to block in my anatomy. Just the structure, based on the structure that I had. Step 3 would be using this blue pencil, and what I like to do this is I can push some anatomy some more, or I usually use it to add a little bit of a costume design. And lately I've been getting into using a little bit of a green as well, sometimes for perspective and stuff like that. And then finally, we just grab I have a cheesy Micron ink pen. You can totally get a Bic pen, a rolling pen, anything like that. And what it does is this helps you pick out the lines that you like out of everything that you've done. And then once I have that, then I can light table it and go from there. So I'll just show you guys this in action. We'll do something simple. I don't know. Everybody likes arms and stuff, so I'll just do like a torso and maybe an arm. Nothing too crazy. But so what I'll like to do is I'll just keep it a little gestural. So I have a chest in there. Maybe we'll put a big beastie arm here. And just for the sake of this video, I'm not going to worry too much about proportion and stuff. I just want to show you guys it in action here, okay? So I am doing a little bit of anatomy work in there, but I'm just trying to get the volume of the shapes. That's all I'm really worried about here. You know, alright, so everything works, everything's fitting in the page, we're good to go. You know, maybe we'll have his pelvis down there, you know, he's got a cape. Capes are cool, put a cape back there. Alright, so next, on to the next stage, so I'll grab my red. And basically here, now that I have everything laid out, I can just start worrying about where my anatomy is going to go. So I try to keep this pretty quick. I do work in a lot of cylinder shapes and volume, stuff like that, just so I can see how things are pushing and pulling in perspective. Big old bicep. Right here we got that big old juicy forearm muscle there. Bring a little bit back there. We're going to exaggerate the anatomy a little bit. That's always fun. Alright, so it goes into his big old tricep up top here. And I'm going to just start working in the shoulder. And in the gesture stage as well, if you wanted to, you could go in there and you could start doing all your little guidelines, you know, like where things should connect and stuff. There's no rules really in what I'm doing. I mean, you could use these colors for each stage. I could go over each one of these, and in the red I could do where all my landmarks should be, you know, like where right here his collar should be, stuff like that. You know, but this is just how I've been doing it, and you know, it's not bad. So, alright, so I got everything that I need to go in there. We're going to go ahead and we're going to make this character, I don't know, Spider-Man. What the heck? It's a Spider-Man on steroids, okay? So, in the blue, again, like I said, is I'll put in the costume. So, Spider-Man's got those gloves, you know, they kind of go up here, go into his shoulder. Up here, he's got that spider symbol. As well, is I'm going to do it very lightly because the blue does sometimes look like it pushes the red back a bit. I'm just going to very lightly put in the guidelines for Spider-Man's costume to follow. Alright, that's fine. And I mean, right there, now I can start going over here with my ink or your Bic pen, whatever you're using. You know, you don't got to spend a lot of money on this stuff. And I'm not worrying here about line weights or line value at all. I try to keep this a little quick as well, because I want to keep that energy in there. I find too, when you light table, and a lot of people will tell you this that have light box for a while, they feel that sometimes they lose a lot of that energy, a lot of that action that's going on that they get with like a scribble or a gesture. And that's why a lot of people, they prefer to light box small and blow it up, because you get more energy when you're working small. At least it looks that way, and I'm a big believer in that as well. But I'd say give this one a shot. Again, if I was working on a 11 by 17, I'm actually going to show you where I did this for a panel of a recent comic book. I'll show you what the final is and how the sketch looked. But again, see, all I'm doing here with the black is I'm just reinforcing where I want my key anatomy to be. And then when I lightbox this, I'm going to keep it sketchy as well, but somewhat tight. I'm going to pick out the lines once more, you know, using the black as I guess the key guideline is the ones that for the lines that I originally am looking for, and then I'll go over and I'll do all my line weights and you know, all that good stuff. I start adding my shadow, and what's really cool too is you could totally go into Photoshop with this if you want. I do this sometimes when I was learning how to draw or do shadows, and I still do it today if I got a little bit of extra time. Is here, I'll just do this real quick. Is when you go into Photoshop, scan your document or whatever, and just get like a hard edge brush, maybe put the opacity down about 50%, somewhere like that, and then just start playing around with where lighting could go. And once you get like a really cool look or one that you like, just, you know, save that as a JPEG, print it out or leave it in front of you if you've got the resource to do so, like a laptop in front of you or something. And then once you have that, now you know where your lighting's supposed to be. Or you could totally just do a very primitive version right beside it, like here. I'll show you guys this as well. This is for, I've done this plenty of times. We're trying to decide on some lighting. We'll say this is the pose. Anyway, that'd be it done. And then I would go to take this on a light box and put it on my Bristol. But let's say with Spider-Man's pose here, so he's kind of coming up at us. He's got an arm like that. Just keep it really simple, Okay, that's it. So what if we want the light to come here? Okay, well, he's got a pec, so it's going to cause some shading over there. His ribs, that's got some shading, and his abs are going to definitely get shaded. Perhaps his neck is casting a shadow over the top. This pec is going to come in like that. Alright, his shoulder here, yeah, we'll do something like that. His triceps, we'll toss those suckers in shadow. The forearm, yeah, let's do that. And I mean, that's nothing, You look at that and it's just shapes, which all really drawing is, and it's got your shadow in there. So now that I have that on a scrap piece of paper beside it, I can totally translate that to this, with some more detail and some finesse. But try that out too. So that's that. Now I'm just going to show you really quickly one I did for a comic for Jamie Gamble. We're working on a project called The Hero Code. It's a fantastic project. Let's see if I can get the camera to do its little dance again. But so this is the exact same thing I did. We have our character here, and he's getting blasted by this big energy blast in his chest. Okay, and there's a lot of things here that are happening, and you'll see how it turned out. But I even went in there and I did a little bit of shading, just some shading with a pencil, just to see how I liked it. You could totally do that when you're done inking, just throw in some quick shading. And this would be it in the final version here. So we got the nice tight line work going, added some rendering, really bulk things out a bit. And as you can see, it was pretty simple, and it's the exact same size. I didn't blow this up at all. I just lined it up to where I needed it to be on the final artboard, and bang, just locked it in, and it was good to go. But yeah, so I mean, I hope this, you guys learned a little bit from it, and I really appreciate you guys watching, and we'll check you out next time. And like I said, you guys can always check out my work at jonathanrector.com. If you guys are on Twitter, you can follow me there at @artbyjar. And if you guys are interested and you got the time, I'd ask you to check out the live Scribbles with Jonathan show on Ustream, and you can check the link for that in the show notes here. So thanks again, and we'll definitely check you guys out later. And until next time, keep drawing and keep working. Talk to you later.